It's turning spring. I feel like I'm getting into the spring mood. We had daylight savings time. Like, I'm ready for the springtime. So I thought I would share with you some of the fragrances I want to wear in spring and also that just remind me of spring. These are some different picks. I'm really trying to get out of my like vanilla gourmand rut that I'm in. And rut is a negative word. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love it, but I do feel myself wanting to branch out. And so I've picked some things that I know are tried and trues for spring for me. I've also picked some things that I just want to wear this spring, so I hope you guys will enjoy. Let's just get into it. First off, I'm putting Cloud Pink in here. I did a whole review on this, so I will leave the video down below, but I mean, to me, this is still just like Cloud, okay? Like, sorry, it's very similar to Cloud. There are some like fruitier notes in here, so to me that's kind of what gives it a springtime vibe. I tend to wear Cloud Original, like honestly mostly to bed. I just feel like it's so cozy and comforting, so any time of year I feel like that works. Cloud 2.0 for me is a little bit more for like fall and winter. It's just that little bit richer, a little bit deeper, but like basically Cloud. And I feel like Cloud Pink is that springtime, summertime Cloud. But I do love the Cloud DNA, I really do. This still has that like sweet kind of musky base on it, but there's also pineapple in here. There's some dragon fruit and there's also coconut water. I think coconut is a note though in the original Cloud. It's just that teensy bit brighter, teensy bit fruitier, and I feel like it will be a good one to really wear this spring. So first is Cloud Pink, and kind of similar to that, as a body mist, I'm putting in the Brazilian Crush Cheirosa 68 from Sol de Janeiro. I love this scent. Actually, I've gone through a smaller size of this, so I do really love this, and this has a bit of that baccarat DNA. It's like jasmine again. I think the dragon fruit is in here. It's fruity, it's sweet, it's kind of airy though. It's not too heavy, it's not too syrupy, and I do like a body mist. Sometimes you don't want something too heavy, and I find specifically this scent to be really refreshing being out and about. So like, I don't know, you're gonna picnic in the park, you're doing something a little bit out in the sun. I feel like a body mist can not only give you that like sensory experience of smell, but also can be really refreshing, the actual mist on your skin. And I love having this in like a pool bag or any kind of outdoorsy bag like that. This works, or you could have a smaller size. I mean, this feels kind of like extreme to be bringing around, to be honest, but scent wise, so good. Definitely a great one for spring. I'm just gonna continue on with what I feel like are the baccarat adjacent scents, because I didn't put baccarat in here, but baccarat is a perfect one for springtime to me, honestly. But I did want to put in Finery's Magnetic Candy. This to me is a mix of Byredo Sundays and baccarat together. So Byredo Sundays has like this kind of sharp citrusy and also kind of neroli white floral scent to it. But then there's something really sweet, kind of cotton candy in here. I believe the notes on this actual one are like violet, pomelo, and like cotton candy or something. And so it is different than Sundays from Byredo. And I find this one to be a little bit sweeter, maybe not as astringent, not as just like kind of intense, honestly, in the beginning. And it lets you experience that sweeter part of the fragrance a little bit earlier. And that's why I feel like it's the mix of baccarat and Sundays. So it's floral without being too floral for me. It doesn't go powdery because again, it has like that citrus in it and it just feels fresh, sweet, light and bright. I'm very into that. I feel like coming out of the cold weather, I'm embracing the sunshine. I'm embracing the wind on my skin. Like, I want scents that really are uplifting and empowering, things that are gonna make me feel excited and fresh, you know? So definitely Magnetic Candy. I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, naturally, that one of the reasons I wanted to make this is because I've already been burning some of my more like spring and even getting closer to summery candles. Like, I have been putting away cinnamons and super heavy vanillas and those like caramel swirl scents. Although sometimes caramel can work in summer, don't get me wrong, but Pink Petal Tea Cake from Bath & Body Works, this was my last one. I'm so sad. I like have a hoard of candles and I have some that have backups, whatever. And I did have some backups of this and I'm so sad that it's gone. I don't know if they're gonna come back with it. I'm scared that they're not, but the notes on this pink rose petals, pound cake, vanilla glaze, it was like the perfect spring and summer gourmand to me because it has the rose. So it's like kind of lifted a little bit floral, but it's still vanilla. It's still pound cake. It's still like icing. It was just so good, so strong as well. I feel like this really filled my house up. It was just so good. I'm so sad. Let me know if you like the scent, something similar, if you know something, or what's your favorite spring candle? Obviously your favorite spring perfume, leave it down below. But I realize that a lot of my favorites are more fall and winter leaning or like cold weather leaning. And because I'm not as into straight up fruity scents anymore, I feel like I don't even know if I have like a true summer candle even that I like love. I mean, Tiki Beach obviously, but you know, if you have any recommendations, let me know. That being said, I do have a gourmand for spring that I think will be good. I'm hoping. This is Akro Bake, and this is like a cupcake kind of smell. Like it goes into that really cupcakey sweet. I feel like a little more on the dense side of vanilla, but the opening is this really bright lemon. Oh yeah, the lemon comes through. It almost smells like limoncello, almost like a lemon drop shot in the beginning. Like that's what I'm getting. It's really bright, but then the sweetness and that vanilla starts kind of engulfing it and softening it because it is, again, quite strong and citrusy, like very lemony at the beginning. And then I find in the dry down and also as I'm wearing this that the vanilla really just takes over, and as much as it's there, definitely present, definitely sweet, and again, a little bit more of a thick vanilla, I don't find it to be too overpowering. And I think for that transitional period where we're not in like full on hot weather, I don't think this is going to be too much for that. I also think it might work for summer, but I don't know for sure. We'll have to see. So I'm putting this in for springtime where I can still get that vanilla fix, but it's a little updated for sun and also some hotter weather. Something I've noticed for myself is that when it starts becoming springtime, I do tend to enjoy some of those more spa scents. I like things that are a little bit more clean girl or like get things done, like just things that can let me be productive. I don't know what it is. Not that you can't be productive and a yummy vanilla, but it's just a different vibe. That's like cozy, that's cute. And sometimes I want a scent that really makes me feel just fresh and yeah, motivated, hopeful, determined in a way. And I feel like these next few are like that. So I put in here from Etat Libre Orange, Sous Pont, which I love. I also love I Am Trash. I feel like those both could be in here. I mean, also You or Someone Like You. That one's a little bit more gardeny fresh, but specifically Sous Pont, this one to me is a aquatic version of Santal 33. It is a very sandalwood heavy fragrance. I get at least. It's musky, has a little fig leaf in it. It really does smell like being on the water in the freshest, cleanest way. It's really my version of a fresh scent because this doesn't go soapy. It doesn't go clean laundry, but it does evoke that imagery in a lot of ways to me. I just think of white linens. It's completely unisex. Like this is gonna smell great on absolutely everyone. It's chic to me. It's modern though. It's just so good. It's a little peppery as well. I just find this fragrance to be one of my favorites. I mean, this it came out last year and I have almost half the bottle gone. I also find this to last really a long time. The muskiness, the coolness, there's almost a coolness when I smell it. And I just feel like for spring and also summer, beautiful scent. Beautiful scent. I wore this recently. I went to an Oscars party and I got a compliment on it from a friend. So I guess I can dub it an official compliment getter, but I just love this. I've worn it in high humidity, high heat. It smells amazing. Like it's just so good. I'm in love with it. Definitely one of my top fragrances in my collection. And I feel like spring and going into summer is one of the perfect times for this scent. This next one's in a very similar vein to that. I feel like I wear these scents like interchangeably. I think I prefer Sous Pont, especially for like going out, having lunch with friends, that type of stuff. Whereas Pink Canyon to me is like more out the shower, about to go on a walk, like a little bit more running around the house type of stuff. Not that I wouldn't wear this out, but this has very similar characteristics to me. This has a little bit of citrus in it. There's grapefruit in here, but there's also some cedar. I love this. I really do love this scent. I would wear this out. What am I saying? I'm just obsessed with Sous Pont, so like it takes over everything. But this scent to me is so great. It's aromatic. There's some sage in here. There's also, again, that sea salt note, which I do think you can smell in here, but it's done really well. I feel like sometimes salt is not something that I love. Like it can be the thing that turns me off a fragrance, but I think with the grapefruit and the aromatic touches that are in here and the different florals as well, just makes me feel so motivated. Like this makes me want to go do yoga. I feel like this is how I think of it. I want to do yoga on a cliff looking out at the beach. That's what I want to do. Like that's the vibes in here. But also, again, like white t-shirt button down or like just a slick back bun. Like it's very much clean girl energy. It's musky and it also lasts a really long time on me. This one specifically from Skylar. Some of their scents don't, I feel like, last very well, but I do feel like I get some time on this one, which is really nice. So if you're looking again for that kind of clean, aromatic, uplifting, musky scent, this one is so good. All right, the next one is one I'm kind of like putting in here almost like as if this was a spring perfume tray where I'm like trying to use stuff because I have not really used this. I got this in an advent calendar. This is 724 from MFK. I really just want to give it a little bit more of a chance on my skin. I don't know if I would have purchased this. I loved getting it in the advent calendar. I'll leave that video down below also if you haven't seen that and you want to check it out. It was an experience, let me tell you. The scent is very aldehydic. I get that for sure. It just smells very like airy and I guess uplifting and just very clean, but there are more florals in here. I don't get the woods as much on this one, although there's sandalwood. I just don't feel like it's as prominent. I really pick up on the musk, the jasmine, and like the aldehydes in here. To me, the jasmine almost comes off just a slight bit stinky, just the tiniest bit, but still definitely overall fresh. I feel like I'm sitting here being like, oh, but it's not quite like that. I'm just trying to more describe the difference between this type of a clean scent, I feel like, than the last two that I talked about. That all being said, I want to give it some good wears. I feel like spring is the best time to wear this. So since I got this at like the end of December or like in December, even early, maybe I opened it a little bit early, but it was like a holiday time purchase. I am excited to actually get some good wear out of it in a time that makes sense for this fragrance. I had to move things around a little bit, so I hope everything's in order, but it was because I don't know how I almost forgot this in the video. It was when I was seeing the aldehydes in the 724 perfume that I had to go run and get Valaya from Parfums de Marly. Okay, if there is a spring fragrance, this is it. I mean, I think this could be honestly a year-round signature scent for someone, but this to me, if we're going to talk about aldehydes, we're going to talk about that airy, just like ozonic, like almost like you're at the top of a mountain, to be honest, kind of feeling that is in here. But this fragrance is so good. Even by looking at the notes, if you look at these notes and you go, girl, that's not me, like I'm not into it, I still think you should smell this because everyone that I know that smelled this loves this. I've gotten so many compliments on it. Like, this is a compliment getter. Even me, I was not expecting to love this as much as I did. And I bought it right when it came out. I believe it came out last year in maybe February. And I don't know about you, but sometimes you go to a counter, it's a new perfume, you want to like it. So you're like, okay, like you're like kind of talking yourself into liking it. And maybe you get home and you're still smelling your skin, or maybe you bought it. Maybe you went for it, you bought it, and then you go home and you go, wait. What's that smell? Because honestly, things smell different at different places. But anyway, when I bought this, I didn't know if it was gonna be that. That's the whole point of that story. And I can tell you right now, not a mistake, so good. Fell in love with it more and more and more. This is also more on that like fresh linen, but my version of a fresh linen. I feel like the woods are really in here. It's citrusy, there's a little bit of peach as well. So airy, so light, so refreshing, but it also has so much power. If you're looking for a fragrance that's gonna last you all day, that is going to stick around with you, this is like a molecular fragrance. It is in your clothes, okay? If you wear this and you wash your clothes, you're probably still gonna smell this on your clothes afterward. That is how strong this thing is. So, so good. Again, very clean girl, very fresh, very just like optimistic, man. Like those are the fragrances. It's just springtime to me. It's just like new life, new hope, like new beginnings. And I love this. So, so good. Highly, highly recommend this one. I think it is a great fragrance from Parfums de Marly. Again, the dent does not lie. The dent does not lie. I think kind of last on this very like aromatic woody moment that I've been having here, I want to talk about Liis Bo because this one to me, I mean, it could kind of be fall for sure. Like it's a fall woody scent, but I also feel like it could be a springtime woody scent. I really do love this. Every time I smell it, every time I wear it, I'm like, why am I not wearing that all the time? There's a lot of woods in here. There's cedar, there's gaiac wood, there is sequoia in here, and I get something very dry woodsy, okay? Like a very dry woodsy, I don't know if I would say pencil shavings, but it kind of goes more that territory, but in a beautiful way, okay? I know sometimes pencil shavings can be used as a bad thing, but I'm kind of the girl that's like, put a little finesse on some pencil shavings and I don't know, like that is a good perfume, like actually. Anyway, there's something kind of aromatic about this woodiness. It feels very atmospheric when I'm wearing this. Again, just clean girl, but still more earthy, more woodsy than it is soapy for me. Because again, I just feel like the soapy stuff does not work on me. And the super floral stuff doesn't always work with what I'm wanting. And I love this too because it has a little bit of vanilla in it. And I feel like it gives it that tiny bit of softness as much as this is that dry wood. The vanilla kind of just rounds out those edges so that it's not too sharp. So I absolutely love this. It's almost something a little bit peppery as well. There's no pepper in here, but just a tiny bit. It adds to that sharpness, I feel like, of the woods. If you haven't smelled it, again, really, really highly suggest. I do have a couple fruity options as well as some more citruses. So one, I'm putting in Ellis Brooklyn Sunfruit. I feel like this is definitely summer leaning, but I really feel like maybe I didn't give this the chance it deserves. It's still not like the perfect me fragrance, but it does have a time and a place, you know what I'm saying? And I really just want to revisit this knowing what it is. I just think the initial notes of this having like fig and coconut in it, I really thought it was gonna be something that maybe wasn't as like juicy fruity as this is, but there's a brightness to this. There's pear in here. I really feel like that comes out. There's some bergamot in here, which I think adds some citrus. And I feel like the florals play really nice. It's sweet, but not like overly sweet. And I really like that about it too. So I'm putting this one in here. I think it's a nice one. Going into spring, just a nice, bright, fruity moment. Okay, another kind of citrusy, fruity thing. I feel like citrus is considered something different than like a fruit, but this is Citrus Circus from Snif. They kind of marketed this as like a creamsicle kind of scent, and I feel like, although I do get the creamsicle vibes, like it is citrus with that like kind of vanilla in it, it's not like a real creamsicle. It's not like a realistic gourmand. I don't think it's sweet as that. I don't think it's as creamy as that, but I do really like it. I feel like this has the bright citrus moment, but it also is a little softened, so it's not too astringent. It's not too orangey, you know what I mean? Not too almost like a bitter orange either. It does go a little soapy, I would give it that, but not in any way like too clean for me. I didn't realize this didn't have any orange in it, but it's beautiful. I really like it as like a softened citrus. If you like something like Sci-Fi from Ellis Brooklyn, I think you might like this. This doesn't have a tea note in it, but I just feel like it gives that kind of soft vanillic citrus, and I think it's really, really nice. So really like that. I do have a code with Snif also. If you're ever buying Snif, you can use that to save some money. I also thought I would mention while I'm here, Sous, Pont, the Etat Libre Orange I talked about earlier. This I got from Twisted Lily, and I do have a code with them too. So if it's something you want to test out, you can use that code to save money, or if you're going to buy the bottle, my code can save you money over there. Okay, citrus I'm bringing in because I just really want to get my full thoughts on it, but it's Byredo Bal d'Afrique. And when I first started my collection, I was so into this fragrance. I thought it was so good. And you know, I'm not saying it's not good, but I don't love this like I did. I really want to give it a chance. I feel like it's a great one for springtime. Also like a signature scent, but I don't know. It's so light overall in scent, and I just get like freshly cleaned hair, but also got a little burnt. Like that's what I'm getting from it, honestly. There's lemon, blackcurrant, bergamot, vetiver. Definitely smell the vetiver on this one. Musk and cedarwood in the base, some orange flower, some other florals. Like it's a nice scent, don't get me wrong, but there's something about it that I'm just not as in love with as I remember being. Like when I sprayed this on my skin, I remember being like, that is so good. I actually sprayed this in Baccarat at the same time, and I remember being like, the Baccarat one, I don't know. And then this one I was like, oh, this is it. This is the one. I love this so much more. Isn't that funny how it worked out? Isn't that funny? Because Baccarat is like number one to me. Baccarat Rouge 540, okay? Love, obsessed. You know, life partners over there, okay? And this one, thought I loved it, and I don't know. I'm definitely not as obsessed. It's fresh though, it is clean. I want to give it a chance. Maybe I'll fall back in love with it. Maybe really wearing it on my skin multiple days in a row will rekindle our flame, we will see. But I do think it's a good one for springtime overall. I'm bringing out another oldie but a goodie. This is Daze from Marc Jacobs, Oh So Fresh Daze. So it's a lot, but this is like the peach one. So it's like very musky, florally peach. I feel like the Oh So Fresh line in general is just like a little less sweet than the other Daisy lines that are out there. I feel like this scent gives me the perfect nostalgia of Daisy while also giving me something a little bit green, a little bit less, again, sweet. So it just feels a little bit more my style. This one goes a little bit more fresh, soapy in that realm, but in such a good way. It's very nostalgic for me. As much as I think there's like peach in here, I don't know if I would pick up on that specifically. It's not overly peachy. It's not like peach rings or anything like that. It just, to me, is like a fresh floral in a way that I think is really great for spring. Really lightweight, very airy, very, again, kind of sweet as in like disposition, not as in like sweetness on your tongue or taste, and just gives me like optimistic spring vibes on top of, look at the bottle, like that is spring. Last two here, I'm bringing out a big gun with Bond Number 9, Greenwich Village. I just always think of springtime for this one. If you're kind of new to niche and you feel like a lot of it kind of stinks or kind of you're like, what the hell? I would, you know, smell this one, okay? There's something kind of showery. There's some watery florals in here. I want to say there's peony. For the fruitiness, there's some mandarin, but there's also some lychee in here, but I don't find it to be overly sharp in any way. This has a really nice mix and kind of an interesting mix, I feel like, for how likable I think this fragrance is, but it's it's fresh, it's floral, but it also has a nice sweetness. It almost smells like there's whipped cream, honestly, in here to me. And then there's some praline in the base, which I think is just a nice touch. If you are kind of like, you know, you maybe dipped your toe into the niche world, I would try this out. Go to a counter, smell Greenwich Village from Bond number 9. Like I said, I feel like this is very likable for being a niche scent, and it might be a nice like gateway into niche fragrances. It's just really pretty. I feel like this gives me expensive, but still kind of like, I don't know if Y2K is the right word, but it's still kind of girly vibes, you know? Like it's still a little young, but money. Like it's expensive. The bottle's expensive. And I feel like you get the quality from the scent, but it also has just a younger feel to it. It feels, I don't know, like you're in a juicy tracksuit. Anyway, I really love this one, and I think it's a great one for spring specifically. But again, this one could kind of be all year round. Maybe it's a little light for winter, you know, like really, really cold months, but it always reminds me of spring. And last year, I wanted to put in the Henry Rose body spray. This one is in Blonde Berry. I only have one of them. I really want to smell the other scents. This one's like fruity, musky. I do smell the patchouli actually quite a bit in this moment, but it's not too much. It's not overpowering, but it's definitely there. I feel like patchouli a lot of the time can add this kind of rich, almost spicy quality to a fragrance, almost something a little sexy, but overall it's a very light sweetness, which I like. It has some woody touches in here. There's blackberry, nectarine, and blood orange in here, but I don't pick out specifically any of those fruit. It's just a nice fruity sweetness in here. A little bit more elevated. Again, I really love the idea of these body mist when it's hot, when you're out and about, just kind of as a touch up. I just think it's so nice. And the Henry Rose ones are alcohol free, which is a nice touch. So I'm putting that one in to have when I'm out and about more than anything, and I'm excited to get some good use out of it this spring. So those are my picks for spring fragrances. I feel like this video was so long, kind of all over the place, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. I would love to know what you guys are excited to wear for spring. What are you busting back out now that the weather is changing a little bit? What are you excited to wear? Or even if you have some things on your wish list, because I definitely have some spring wish list perfumes. Like I really think I'm gonna add BDK Possessoir finally to my collection. I just think that one is such a good fruity floral. But if you have any like wish list ones or things you think I should try that you love, let me know down below. I hope you guys are doing so well. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.